Okay, so we are live now. Hello, George. How are you?
Everything is amazing. Thank you. What about yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. So, I would like to welcome you at our first episode of Pro AI Think Tank. And our topic for the today's session is disrupting security with artificial intelligence and technologies. Okay. So, first of all, I would like you to say about yourself so our audience will get to know about you more.
Okay, no, I can do a very brief introduction. My name is Jorge Sebastiao. I'm Portuguese Canadian, but I've been traveling, I guess, to Pakistan probably for the last 30 years or so. And since working in technology, we have seen the evolution of the various technologies over these like 36 plus years, which included mainframes, mid-range computers, LANs, networks, the birth of the desktop, and from there, I mean, databases, fourth generation languages. AI has been around for a long time, cloud computing, IoT, 5G, blockchain, just to name a few. So, having worked in all these technologies, of course, what is important is how we combine these technologies together to create useful business solutions. Not always so easy because software and hardware needs a bit of maturity to be set up and to be configured for the business application. And at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, the most important thing is actually the user interface, how the user interacts with the solution. And as solutions tend to be easier to use, they tend to be more friendly, then adoption of these solutions grows easier and faster. So we can then talk about some examples of that
Mm-hmm.
in these newer technologies of cybersecurity and artificial intelligence.
All right, cool. So I have some questions for you, George, and I'll go one by one. Okay. So my first question is that, like, what has made AI so popular now?
Well, this is actually a very good question because AI has been with us for probably a little bit 40 years, give or take. Um, on one of my first work terms in technology, it was almost 36 plus years ago. I was predicting lake levels using data. You can say it's a very basic form of prediction. You can call it AI, but not really too much artificial, but still based on data to drive how to predict the future before it actually happens. So, of course, over the last 36 years, many things have evolved dramatically. The power of the CPUs has become much faster and powerful. Machines today have much larger amounts of memory that they can proceed. Storage has become much cheaper and faster. So today we no longer
Mm-hmm.
have moving parts in our storage. So our storage in our computers is solid state. So that makes the access to that storage very fast and even low cost and more reliable. Networking and telecommunications obviously has evolved a lot so that we can have
Right.
larger bandwidths. So when we have all these elements coming together, it made new versions of AI to be more powerful and more strong or being done in a much short period of time. Of course, there is some specialized hardware that was created and did a good job at processing AI. And one example of that is something called GPUs or graphical processing units. These
Mm-hmm.
are, um, you can say, specialized CPUs that were designed to do 3D modeling and numerical manipulation. So those were also very good at processing data for AI. So that's one side. You can say one side is associated with the technology, and that technology has become
Right.
faster, cheaper, But I think that is not really the thing that has created the big revolution that we see today. And the big revolution that we see today is there because of the user experience. Now, if we take the
Mm-hmm.
product that has created that revolution is known as ChatGPT, that comes from OpenAI. It's something called a large language model. And what it does is it learns about data, and then it gives us back
Mm-hmm.
that data in a structured way by having a conversation in English or another language between the user
Yeah.
and the software. So that really means that that particular use case of AI went from 0 to 100 million users in 2 months without any promotion or advertising. So that really means it was what we sometimes call in IT or business word of mouth marketing. So somebody said, "Oh, this is a good product. You should try it." They told it to their friends and so on. So that really means that we have a whole series of users that were not necessarily heavy computer users, found
Mm-hmm.
themselves enchanted with the power of this technology, and they started using it in a heavy way. And then, of course, there was ChatGPT 1.0, 2.0, 3, 4, and 5 very soon. But
4 and 5,
it started,
and so on. I don't know how many
yeah,
more they are going to
it
launch.
became more powerful, meaning the first version only handled text. Then the second release allowed you to handle more data. The third release allowed you to handle text, data, and images. Some of them even allow now processing of video contents. So that means now you have a different way of interfacing with that AI machine learning model. Now, the more useful it becomes, then the more users adoption that you have. So you have thousands of developers creating new solutions. So this has created a very big demand both for the hardware that enables these systems to operate. So they become very expensive in terms of not highly available, meaning there's not enough for what people want to do. So people are trying to
Mm-hmm.
get a hold on this. You need to build the data centers to be able to operate. Finally, then you have to have the systems that are learned. So today you can say ChatGPT was educated with the contents of the internet. So that contents of the internet was either 2019 up to 2022, 23. But you can also
Mm-hmm.
create a ChatGPT using the contents of the enterprise, meaning if you're an education company or
Yeah.
organization, you'll use that. If you're an oil and gas company, you'd use that. If you're a cybersecurity company, you'll use that. So that means you have a multitude of applications that are possible today that were not possible tomorrow. And these kind of applications, I usually call it, they become like a co-pilot. So normally a person that
Mm-hmm.
has been doing a job will be able to perform 2 or 3 times better in their job because the AI becomes like a co-pilot for the job they do because they have access to a
Yeah.
bit automated robot to make them a bit more efficient. But it's still the user who does most of the work. It's just that the robot or the AI component enables that user to function much more faster than he was able to do it before.
Yeah, but there are some people who are talking about the risk of AIs. Maybe the jobs will not be, maybe the people will be more jobless and all. But on the other hand, we can see this thing in another way. Like, definitely, as you said earlier, that it is also helping the human to work more efficiently.
That is correct. The point that you're trying to bring is every new technology that exists, whether it's AI, blockchain, databases, fourth generation languages, cloud computing, has a good side and a bad side. What I mean by good side,
Yeah.
the good side, it allows maybe better productivity, new ways of doing things, but there is also risks associated with it. And AI is no different than any other technology. So on one side, AI enables us to work better and faster. to be more performant on the jobs that we do. But on the other sense, yeah, that is correct. So if I perform better, maybe the company only needs to hire 2 people instead of 5. So that means those people need to be retrained on some other job. As simple as that. And
Yeah.
the same applies to things like driverless cars. So if you have a car that is being driven by a robot, that means there is less people required to drive cars or trucks. Now, does it mean you still need a person in the car? For the foreseeable future, the answer is yes. And there's a reason why, is because AI or robots are not perfect. I mean, they make mistakes. And because
Mm-hmm.
they make mistakes, then the human element has to be there to correct or know when those mistakes are being made. Now, there's other risks associated with AI.
Mm-hmm.
The one is of privacy. So that means what data was used to train, and what is private data or not, and how you hide the privacy of that data to make sure that you don't disclose data that is not supposed to be disclosed in the process. For example, things like ChatGPT have been sued in some cases for producing data that was considered copyrighted for an individual or an organization. So although that data was obtained from the internet, that does not mean that data was available for everybody to use. Then there is other issues
Exactly.
that are quite unique as well to AI. One is what we call sometimes singularity, or AGI, or
Mm-hmm.
advanced general intelligence, is when computers become more powerful than humans. And there's, of course, many people that are afraid that, okay, maybe computers will start making decisions that are not good for humans. But again, this is
Mm-hmm.
how computers get programmed. So that means you need to put the checks and balances in place that controls that risk, that avoids the risks associated with the technology. So, of course, there's different points of view. The people that are creating this technology think that every technology is good without checks and balances. The people that are a bit more conservative saying, yes, let's deploy the technology, but let's slow down the deployment to see what are the side effects, and maybe being able to regulate or control the nefarious or the bad side effects on the usage of that technology. And I'm a proponent that every technology has got risks. So you need to understand these risks and you need to manage them, because no technology is perfect. So if we let technology operate by itself, we would probably live in an extremely dangerous world, not a very safe one.
Yeah, because people are very much concerned about their data, and now the world is totally depends on data. Every
That is correct.
application is, uh, yeah. So the point is that every application is asking for your data, and every application, every company has your data. So, and the world is moving towards that. So, if
There
how
is
you can explain
there's
that about like how someone can overcome from such things?
that has been done already in certain parts of the world. So let's take, for example, Europe. Europe, and for example, even UAE has passed laws against data protection.